Hi guys, so this is your first video of the week. We are practicing solving with distribution. So before we do that, we're going to do our distribution recap. All right, so to recap, we take the outside number and we multiply it with the number inside the parentheses. And I need to make sure I'm doing that to both the first number and the second number. Another thing to always be mindful of is to make sure you're including that sign with the second number like I did here with the 7. So now we go ahead and multiply, so I get 5x, and then I multiply this and get negative 35. All right, why don't you go ahead and try this next one on the side. All right, so if you did this, you should have gotten this for your distribution part, and then that is our final answer. All right, so we're going to do the same thing, but now we're going to add it to our solving square. Just a quick recap also with our signs when we are multiplying and dividing. Same signs, it is positive. Different signs, we get a negative answer. All right, so when we are solving, we need to make sure to distribute first before we move to our solving square. All right, so I just distribute what's on the outside with what's in the parentheses, and then I'm going to go ahead and bring everything else down. So that's my distribution part, and this side didn't have parentheses, so I'm not distributing, so I'm just bringing it down. And now I'm going to go ahead and do my letters on the left and my numbers on the right. Remember, if you cross over, you need to use your inverse operation. So for my letters, I have negative 2n, that's on this side, so it stays the same. Negative 10n, I'm going to use my inverse, so it crossed. Positive 8, I'm also going to use the inverse because it's crossing the line. And negative 16 is on that side already, so it stays the same. We need to go ahead and combine our like terms. So I get 8n on this side and negative 24 on the right. All right, as always, my last step in these problems is to divide. Now, something I'm noticing is I keep seeing a lot of this, dividing by 8n. That is not the case. We are only dividing by our number or our coefficient. All right, that's what's being divided. So that's because it cancels out and I'm left with n. So I don't want to get rid of that n. And on this side, I'm just going to go ahead and solve that. And I get negative 3. All right, so go ahead and try example number 2. All right, so here we go. When you distribute example 2, you should get this for your left side, and our right side stays 30. And then again, furthering my simplification, you should get negative 2m plus 6 on your left side. All right. So now what did you get for your letters and numbers? What's on your left side and what's on your right side? For your left side, you should have negative 2m. Right side, you should have 30, take away 6. Okay, combine like terms. And then we divide our coefficient. And this time our coefficient is negative, so it also needs to stay negative. And that's what we get for our first example. All right. As always, if you have any questions, type them in at the end of the video. But before we do that, I just want to make sure to write down the steps. I know we've practiced them a bunch, but let's just go ahead and write them in because now we are doing step 1. So we distribute always first, and then we make our groupings using inverse operations. Remember, our variables we group to the left, and our numbers we group to the right. We write our simplified equation, and then we divide. All right, that is all for today. We will see you tomorrow.